Welcome to the adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I am back from Bloodstock, and what a journey it was to get on the road from Bloodstock back to the U.S. I'll tell you what always bugs me too is it's so much harder to get into my own country than get in others. Go to the U.K., it takes me 2 seconds. Come to the United States, it takes where I live. Takes about an hour, and they have to interrogate me like I don't even live here. So I don't know. I think I might be going to the UK more and more and more. Besides the fact that I love it there, except the bipolar weather, but I love the festivals there. And Bloodstock is one of my favorite in the world. And we had this band here that was at Bloodstock, but we didn't get a chance to do the interview there. So we're lucky enough to do it now. So let's welcome to the show Insidious Void, and it's Shane. How are you?
I'm great, man. Yeah, it's been a couple of days of recovering from Bloodstock. You know, I don't think I'm still quite over it yet. Right? We always get the term you probably have heard, the Bloodstock blues, where you just sort of you get back home and normal life just is just completely unacceptable. You want to be back at the festival.
Oh, yeah. And, it's funny because so I go on tour and I do festivals all over the U.S., U.K., and Europe. So I definitely know those blues after every single one. And it's like you kind of come home, like I have a few days home now and then I'm leaving again. And it's like you come home, you seclude, you got the blues. And then you're like, oh, do I really want to go to the next one? And then you get to the next one, you're like, oh, I'm so happy I'm here. And and it's like this whole cycle of, I don't know, bipolar mental jumping all over the place in your head,
Yeah.
And it's funny because, my youngest daughter, I'll bring her to festivals, and after half a day, she's like, Dad, I don't know how you do this every weekend. I'm done already. And I sit there and I'm like, yeah, I don't know how I don't. Like, it's the best part of life is doing it, but the worst at the same time. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. I always have this this kind of joke that I think of every year. It's no matter how much fun you're having at a festival, whether you're camping or you're in a hotel or whatever, well, the weather's good, bad, it doesn't matter. You could be having the best time. But you will always have that one day where you wake up and you're just like, oh, I wish I had my own bed just for a second. But it goes away. I mean, I get it every year where I'll wake up on the Sunday and I'll just be completely like wrecked. Especially, it was like this year, like you said, with the weather. It was hot again this year, and you don't get, if you're sleeping in a tent, you can't really sleep past 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's brutal. When that sun comes up and you're in a tent, it's absolutely brutal.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got about 5 minutes to get out of there as soon as the sun hits the tent. Otherwise, you're just going to get microwaved. It's so stuff like that. But it's all part of the fun of it, really. And like you're enjoying yourself at the time, and then you come home and you don't realize just how much you were enjoying yourself, and it just
I got off the plane and it wasn't 10 minutes before I was like, okay, let me get back and go back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had that drive from Bloodstock up to Cairnryan in Scotland, and it doesn't really, because I was the one that was doing all the driving, I enjoy the drive, but then it really hits whenever I'm in Scotland. I've got out of the car after 6 hours, and I'm like, I will turn this thing around and go back. It's so great. I mean, I couldn't really imagine not doing festivals in general, but Bloodstock in particular is the
Oh,
most fun. I missed it one year and I kicked myself for it. It was terrible.
it is one of my favorites, if not the favorite, for
Mm,
several reasons. First of all, like the people that run it are absolutely freaking amazing, I'm also like in awe of like Vicky and everybody else that runs it because it's DIY and it's still a major festival. And like to
yeah,
put on a production like that
yeah,
from a family business doing it DIY, like
mm,
I am super impressed because yeah, anybody could probably do it, but not do it well. And they do it so well and it's
yeah,
so organized. And all I ever hear is positive things. You know, it's funny. So many other festivals I go to, especially in the United States, you know, all you hear is complaints. And those are the people that have loads of money and corporations and everything else. And
yeah,
not necessarily do they put it on right. Whereas
yeah,
Bloodstock, I mean, right down to everybody. And then, you know, this year was an emotional year because, you know, doing media, I dealt a lot with Michelle Kerr, who
yeah,
is the publicist, who is Bloodstock when it comes to media. And then
yeah,
Rob Flynn did this dedication during Machine Head set. You know,
yeah.
before that, I was in the pit. And then afterwards, I was just standing there and they did that. And I was like, I mean, I had a tear coming out. You know, I went from being
Same.
this mosher in the pit to like totally emotional with tears.
Yeah, breaking down a little bit. Yeah, no, exactly. It's Bloodstock is just such a it. Obviously, it's over the years it's grown and grown, but it's just I think especially once you are in the sort of VIP area or the press area, and it doesn't quite hit just how much of a big operation it is and how
Right.
well they actually managed to make it, work until you just get that even that little glimpse back there and you see what all is going on that you would never normally see. But yeah, no, like you were saying that Machine Heads, that tribute just before Darkness Within, that was amazing. I think I never try to sort of say what the best band of the festival is because I enjoy so many of them whenever there's like at different times. But I said to everyone that I was with there that at that point, at that time, and with that particular tribute, um, Machine Head kind of stole it for me.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was like the perfect storm. Everything just lined up, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna forget this one. That was brilliant.
It's funny you should say that because okay, like Trivium, they're from my area. They're like 2 hours away from where I am. And so I've seen them a lot, obviously. And I was blown away by their set because I was like, oh
Mhm.
my God, that's the best I've ever seen them. And you know, they had all the guests come up, including Rob Flynn, and you
Mhm.
know, and they did the Sabbath song. That like caught my attention because it was like I was out there watching and I went back to media because I had to do something for an interview. And I was
Yeah,
sitting there and I heard like the first note of Symptom of the Universe. I was like, holy shit.
it's
And then
happening.
and then they just kept beating it after that. Like it was one thing after another. But then, like, you're right. I mean, when Machine Head came on, first of all, between the pit, the wall of death, but
Yeah,
then that whole dedication, Michelle, it was like, okay, yeah, I
yeah,
have to give it to this one.
yeah. It was just it was such an emotional little drop in there that it completely tipped it. And obviously, like you said, Trivium there were amazing. I didn't get to see as much of Trivium as I would have liked. Same with Emperor, because of where our set was. There was
Yeah.
a lot of moving parts, so didn't get to see as much of them as I would have liked. Obviously, it's not a big deal, but still, yeah. And then Gojira, wow,
Oh, they
like
killed it too.
yeah, that was. I haven't seen a fireworks display like that in the UK, ever. Like that was just, and they were, oh,
Well,
they were amazing. And Mia Culpa as well. That was
I
awesome.
saw something like from somebody from media or whatever. Somebody said something. Can't remember where I got it from, but it basically said if you think Machine Head's, you know, uh, fireworks and stuff were something. Wait till you see Gojira.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was on point
Yeah.
because it was insane. And I was even thinking about it at the time, again, a family run DIY festival that did that kind of production and kept us all safe at the same time.
Yeah.
Again, blows my mind.
Yeah. I couldn't really, I don't think I'd be able to get my head around how much planning is involved to make something like that happen in the massive, spectacular way that it did. And like you said, keeping everyone safe at the same time. It's, my hat goes off to them. I mean, it is, I've been to quite a few festivals, but Bloodstock is still my favorite. You know, I think the first year I went was 2016.
Wow.
And there was only 1 year I didn't go, and it was just because like I went to another festival and I didn't have the money, and I was raging. I was so angry that I couldn't go. And from then on, I was just like, I'm never missing that again. That is not happening again.
And so now you got to play.
Yep.
And that's badass. Tell us about the road to Bloodstock of getting to play at Bloodstock.
Yeah. Well, there's, as you can imagine, there's a lot of prep work that goes into it, as every band's going to do. We had a sort of idea that we wanted to, you know, drop something in advance specifically for Bloodstock. So we had kind of like a loose or a roadmap almost laid out of what we're going to be doing going forward as a band in general. And then Bloodstock got kind of dropped into the middle of it. So we rejigged it, and we were working on a single at the time, which we then actually just sort of put, it's got to be done. So we released that single about a week before, called Magnitude. And then obviously that, like, we were pumping that out everywhere, saying that we've got a new single out. We're going to be playing it at Bloodstock. This is what we're going to do. But there's like, that was just the, you know, what we were going to promote going into it. The amount of prep work behind it in terms of how we're going to get there, what gear we're going to bring. Obviously, having been to the festival quite a few times and seen the EMP stage in many different ways, I was doing all these things of how much space am I going to have to work with? Am I going to be walking forward or back, left and right? All these wee things that I think about. But yeah, it was a lot of work, and just on the Friday, you know, I went up and I got the t-shirts into the, you know, like in the morning, I got the t-shirts into the merch stand. And there was a lot of then, you know, into the VIP area, going out, meeting people. And then before you know it, it's 6 o'clock and, oh shit, it's time to go. Like we got to get everything backstage. And it just all blurred in so fast. And when it was done, I was riding such a high, but I was like, oh, I can't believe it. It's sort of 4 or 5 months of what set list are we going to do? What merch are we going to bring? What songs are we going to release, if any, in the run up to the festival? What little things are we going to get, you know, in the run up to it? And then it just happens, but it all just fades away. Sometimes that can be so stressful, and other times it's like, well, I really enjoy it in general, but sometimes, as you can imagine, things can get a wee bit stressful. But you're just standing there on the stage, and there was just so much power. Like I was feeding off that, like so much. And I know my drummer was sitting back there, and he once we got all the gear back to the car, he was just like, I don't know how I'm going to go back to work after this. You know, it was such a big thing. It was so much fun.
And does it blow your mind how many people are packing it in for that stage that you played on?
Yeah, it's always full. I mean, I think it actually is a really great stage, especially for bands, you know, smaller bands like us. We're probably a bit more used to stages that size.
Yeah.
So it's, in that sense, it's quite comfortable. But the crowds, I mean, you can sort of, whenever you're on the stage, you can just see like a sea of heads, and then the sun comes down and you see that's the end of the tent, but there's still people there. And you're like, What? It's just, it's always full. It's incredible. It's a brilliant wee stage. I think a lot as well is to do with where it is. It's in a really, really good place.
It's right in the center of everything.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. I love that stage too, because it reminds me of how things used to be, where there wasn't barriers to the stage, you know, like nobody can really stage dive anymore on bigger stages because they have that big separation. There's no way you would make it to the other side. And, you know, but it's just that whole intimacy that really got me into metal, because I felt this closeness to the band as a teenager, because I was like, you could touch them if you wanted to, you know, and sometimes you would get up on stage and just be chill with them and stuff. And like, that's really, that kind of community and that kind of intimacy is what I think has made metal such a huge family as it is today.
Yeah, exactly. And like, as a band, every now and then you'll get offered up, obviously, as you progress, hopefully you get to do bigger and cooler things. We got the chance a couple of years ago to play a big venue in Belfast called the Mandela Hall. And at that sort of place, you're talking like, it's one of those tall, wide stages, or a proper big stage.
Right.
But then that's great. But I think, like you do in that respect, I like the sort of down and dirty, being right in the face of the band. Yeah. It's a lot more personal.
You're kind of disconnected, right? When you have that separation, it's kind of like it's you and them. Where when you don't, it's like it's just all of you.
Yeah,
and people
exactly.
respect it too.
I love that. You know? Just right in the face. It's so good, and especially like we got a pit at the end of one of our at the end of our last song, and just when you're that close and at that level, and you see that going on, and you realize that's for you. It just makes it, it hits hard.
It makes you want to jump in.
Yeah, exactly. If I didn't have a guitar in my hand, I would have been getting stuck in. It was just a proper like a moment of just, I don't know, raw energy where you almost sort of lose it a wee bit. I know it's hard to describe, but that's what I sort of feel, and that's what I felt whenever I was there. I saw it happening, and I was like, yeah, we've had one or two mosh pits, but nothing like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I wish we could go back this weekend to Bloodstock.
Yeah, exactly. My sunburn's gone away, so I'm ready to go.
There you go. And I'm partially have my voice back.
Yeah,
it's coming back slowly. I was talking to people yesterday, and they're like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, yeah. I did 47 interviews this week, and I have no voice. That's all.
Yeah,
and no
actually, from talking to people in the press tent and in the press area, I think you guys came out of it a wee bit worse than the bands because you're having to do so much more talking all the time, whereas we have to get up there and bark for 30, 40, 50 minutes, and that's us.
Right. And you're yelling over the background noise too. So it's like, you know, I'm yelling the whole interview pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, man, my engineer even has to, like, when my engineer does the settings, we practice in the studio, but we practice as if I'm at the festival and I'm yelling. So he sets my mic for me to be like really what would be normally distorted if we didn't set it that way. And because it's like for the other person to hear you. You know, and the best way I could describe it is like if you've ever been to a concert and you're trying to talk to somebody next to you.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And you're not just it's not just like leaning into their ear, you know, whenever if you're interviewing someone, it's like you're standing there with the microphone and you sort of keep it face to face, but you're not getting right into someone's ear and screaming at them. So.
Yeah, you almost have to read lips, because if you're getting in close, it would be kind of weird. Just saying.
Yeah. Some people aren't comfortable with it. obviously, if you've done it, I'm sure like me and you've probably done that a million times anyway. So it's just how it comes with the
It's
territory.
just second nature. Like it's
Yeah.
probably first nature.
Yeah, it would be a wee bit weird if someone didn't do it. I'd be like screaming at them, speak
Right?
up, what, you know?
Exactly. And you can always tell if you're a good interviewer, you can always tell if you have to raise your voice even more because like I watch the band's body movement and their facial movement to determine whether they can hear me or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose there's little cues like that. The blank look coming across someone's face, or just them just saying yes to the question, and that's
Right?
it.
Kind of like if you're speaking another language and the reaction the other person has.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah,
so
no,
right with the
exactly.
yes.
And I imagine that happens probably quite a lot. There's also, I guess, probably people that aren't going to be too as comfortable just being interviewed in general. And yeah, you probably
Yeah.
get all sorts of characters that way.
Oh, totally. And a good interviewer just learns how to read the person they're interviewing. And that's why I do my interviews the way I do. Instead of some boring script or whatever, I just let it take a life of its own.
Yeah.
And that's how you're going to get the artist to really want to talk because they're
Yeah.
so used to hearing the same boring questions all the time that they don't give two shits about. So that makes for a hard interview. Like I don't even know why people continue to interview like that because to me that would be very difficult. It'd be like pulling teeth. Me,
Yeah.
I'd rather like just let you tell a story and then you'll tell me everything I need to focus on by what you say.
Yeah. I think it's a great way to do it because I'm very much that sort of guy of things need to sort of come naturally and be like and work naturally for it to actually appear natural. You can't force that.
Right.
So yeah, I do sort of wonder how like bigger bands that maybe every time they're out at a festival or if they're lining up festivals back to back or shows back to back and they've got maybe 10 interviews every night and it's the same script. Yeah, I wonder, do they just sort of sit there and think, well, fuck me,
Oh,
just ask him.
I say it when I hear other press people that are like that. In my head,
Yeah.
I'm like, man, if I was the artist, I'd slit my throat right now.
Yeah, it's got to be like I've never had that like such a long string of interviews, but I imagine that does happen. But it's just like as well, it's the same sort of thing that I apply myself just in a lot of things. Like when I go on stage, there's the in between song talk and stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I just go up and I say whatever's
I love that because doing as many festivals as I do, you'll see the same band play all the time. And I'll be with people out in the crowd and I'll actually be saying the stuff that the dude's going to say in between songs before they say it. And they're like, how do you know what they were going to say? And I'm like, it's magic. I'm psychic.
Yeah.
And really, it's
I
like
definitely didn't see his script in the corner.
right. Exactly. So there are bands that sit there and they'll say the same thing every time between songs. And then there's other people like you, which is what I dig. It's like just whatever happens. Like I think every experience should be different. I think that's where the Grateful Dead was really smart because you could not go to any Grateful Dead show and it be the same as the last one ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was even little
that's
things
why
like,
they got the cultish following that like travel and want to see every show.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like different. It's another thing I read a few years ago that Pearl Jam did something at one of their tours. The set list for the entire tour was not set. They basically just changed the set list at every single show. And I was like, that's a lot of work, but that would be amazing because you can't go and check online, what the set's going to be for the next show. You just got to take what you get. And I love that sort of stuff because it's easy to spoil things that way now, just with the internet and all. But I love it if bands if they can pull off something like that, I think it really, really works.
Yeah. And then somebody's going to want to go see your show multiple times because they never know what they're going to expect, so they don't have to say, well, I already saw them this year. you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it would annoy me if you like saw a band after 2 years of touring and they played the exact same set. I know some bands you got to get the hits in there and stuff like that, but even Iron Maiden this year on their latest tour seemed to do loads of like stuff that they were pulling out of the catalog. A lot of the like stuff from Killers and Seventh Son that you wouldn't normally have seen all that often. And it was just like I was really annoyed that I didn't get to go to that. They were playing in Dublin or just outside Dublin. And my dad was hounding me to get tickets and I just couldn't afford it. That's another one I was annoyed at. But yeah, it's stuff like that. Just keeping everyone guessing because, we're not, it's musicians. I don't think they're not like movie stars.
Right.
Or anything. So I don't think like just sticking to a script works. I guess it does, but
for some it does. But it's got to get old if you're as the artist too, like playing the same set every single night.
Yeah,
I would be bored to death probably.
Exactly, and there's always going to be a battle to stay fresh. But surely it makes sense then that if you want to stay fresh, you can't be saying the same stuff. You just gotta, it's gotta change. That's why I don't really think about it. I might have like a loose idea that at some point I need to make a reference to a new song that we've released, but that's about it. It'll just be like a mental note in there somewhere. Oh yeah, say something about that. I don't care how you do it, just do it.
Right. There you go. That's the way to do it. How do people reach out to you guys on socials, on the web? Buy your merch. You got some killer ass merch, by the way, and they can't listen to my show unless they buy your merch.
Well, we had the new t-shirts for the Magnitude single in the merch stand, and since I've been home and like unpacking everything, I haven't had the chance to actually upload them, but that's going to be happening probably within the next day or so. The new shirts are going to go live, and to be honest, I think they're amazing. I've actually got one sitting out here. I like the.
Oh yeah, that's badass.
Yeah, I think it's class. I love a good green shirt. No back print on them, but it wasn't about the back print this time. I just wanted a really punchy, colorful.
Well, that's what I like about your shirts. Like, unlike the typical metal shirts, you have cool colors that like just pop out. So I'm somebody that I dress different ways, different environments. And it's like some of your t-shirts, I'm like, ooh, that shirt could be a metal shirt, but it could also be a go to the beach and party shirt.
Exactly. Yeah. I like, I always said that I just like, bright colors for them. I mean, as much as I like a black and white, it's pretty standard. I love them. I've got tons of them, but I always find that for me, a shirt really stands out when it's got some really bright colors, and you see green just pops. And I remember when we had one which had a purple shirt, a purple design on it. I remember the first show that we played after we got that one in, and it was just flying out of the merch stand. Everyone wanted it because it was just like such a standout design, and that was when it really clicked with me. I was like, I'm going to do more of that. For me, bright colors just sort of stands out. I do like just doing ones which maybe aren't like focusing on bright colors, just because I like variety as well. But for me, it's the ones that really stand out are the ones that are, the bright colored ones. They're all available we just use Bandcamp for the shirts and all of our merch. So the way we have it is on our Facebook and our Instagram. We use Linktree. And you click in there and it's everything Insidious Void is in there. So you've got the videos, you've got the music and merch, links to Spotify, everything. It's all in there. So you'll find that in all of the taglines on our social media, or if you just go on to Bandcamp, you'll find us there as well, and everything will be up there.
Nice. Well, you guys kicked ass at Bloodstock, and everybody's definitely got to check you out because you're badass. And I
thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Thank you for being there at Bloodstock, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman. No
problem at all. Thank you very much for taking the time to have a chat with me. I'm really appreciate it, and it was an awesome experience. I hope we get the chance to maybe do it again, or even our paths cross in another respect as well. But yeah, that's for the future. Right now, I'm still just enjoying a wee bit of the Bloodstock afterglow, you know.
There you go. Well, we will definitely cross paths in the future. I hope to see a lot more of you.
Yes, you will. There's a lot in the works.
We're gonna play a sad song for you, all right? And I haven't told this story for the whole tour, but I'm gonna tell a story tonight. I'm gonna put up a picture of my friend Michelle Kerr up on the screen right there. If you do not know, Michelle Kerr was my press officer for my entire fucking career here in the UK. My entire career with Machine Head. She recently passed away, and it was a very, very sad day. And I can tell you the reason that I'm gonna tell this story is because she was family. She was Bloodstock family. She was heavy metal UK family. Most of the bands that you know and love, you've probably heard of because of that woman right there. Slipknot, Slayer, Machine Head, Trivium, Killswitch Engage, Hatebreed, you name it. She helped lift everybody up, man. She helped lift everybody up. And in so many ways, she helped make this entire music scene, this incredible, beautiful community that lives here at Bloodstock, man. She helped make it. So ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for Michelle Kerr.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.